Hi, my name is David Allen, and I'm a Partner Solution Architect at Neo4j. In this video, we're going to step through how you would connect your existing graph database to business intelligence tooling such as Tableau to do rich visualizations on the basis of data in your graph. Let's imagine we're working with a big online retailer with a lot of data about household purchases on their site. Wouldn't it be great to be able to see how all of those household behaviors are similar across our entire data set so that we could better understand purchasing patterns? Here, we've started with a traditional BI visualization, and we've done exactly that. We've grouped all the households into communities and then shown how many different items are bought by each community. This community grouping is made possible by Neo4j, which is currently in use by this retailer for product recommendations. As a use case, product recommendations is a very graphy use case because doing it right requires information about the connection between all of the households, items, and purchasing patterns over time. Now let's take a look at the graph that is behind the scenes driving that visualization. When we take a look at this graph, there are two kinds of items in that graph. There are households that are buying things, and then there are the items that they buy. The relationships between them represent who bought what. By inspecting some of the items down here at the bottom, we can see sales figures. We can see that each of them has an ID and a community identifier as well. By looking at the individual households, we can see that they have a number of items that they bought, as well as a community identifier that goes with them. Remember, by having this graph and seeing the pattern of which households are buying what, the retailer can make recommendations that are great for their online experience. Customers who enjoyed this item may also enjoy these other items, and so forth. The community labels on each household are only possible because of Neo4j's graph data science algorithms, which we have used to run on this dataset. Back here in Tableau, because of the BI connector, we were able to define a connection from our graph into Tableau. Each of the nodes appears like regular tables in Tableau, and the bought relationship right here appears as just another table. We can use regular Tableau techniques to create joins between these tables and pull our data set through to Tableau as one big unified table down here below. We can see what communities that our households belong to, whether or not they buy an item frequently or occasionally, and so forth. Once we have this data source, we can build rich visualizations on top of it. The BI connector is acting effectively as a bridge between our graph and Tableau tabular data. The BI connector also means that Tableau users now have wider access to unique data that doesn't exist in relational and other NoSQL databases. And it's so easy that it doesn't even cause any change in the regular Tableau workflow. Now let's imagine that a retail analyst is looking at this data and is trying to build a discounting program for the site. One of the ways we might do this is to look at low-volume items that are bought by profitable communities. We can look at all of the communities in our data set and begin by pulling out some of them that are particularly profitable. If we can focus on these profitable communities that buy a lot, we can look for low-volume items that appeal to them and run a discounting program on the items that most appeal. On the top, we have communities right here, and on the left, we have item IDs. We're seeing that this particular household, number 60, has bought this item 93 times. We know that certain households have a tendency to buy those items already, and we know generally that those households in this community are profitable. When they get onto the retail site, they're likely to buy other things as well, which is part of our strategy. One of the ways that you can tell Neo4j did a good job with identifying distinct communities in the data is that there is little overlap between their buying patterns. This community buys this item quite a bit, but the other communities did not buy it at all. This is to be expected because we group the households into communities. Their behavior is different. There are a few key takeaways. The first is that Neo4j drives retail recommendation engines for many businesses. When you add graph capabilities like community detection, it enables users to get a unique perspective on their customers' behavior. Once we were able to identify those communities, we can slice and dice the data in Tableau in many ways. We could do it by low-volume items, we could do it by high-volume items, and we can even connect that data back to our sales figures, whether it's high-volume and low-volume items, and then connect it down to the sales in any particular month. The second key takeaway is that the BI connector allows you to connect your graph, which is shown here, into standard BI tooling in a seamless way that keeps your data fresh. Because this data pull can happen live, you can do this analysis with the confidence that your data is up to date. If you're an existing Tableau or BI user, it's so easy you don't even have to change your workflow to get powerful insights out of graphs. The final result of all of this is that it's easy for business analysts to get value out of their graph databases and to use that to inform important business decisions. Thank you very much.